guys, this is Malinki. Welcome back to my channel, Voice of Malinki. Today we will talk about role of hormones in menstrual cycle. And if you are new in my channel, please subscribe my channel. And if you like my video, please do like, comment and share my video. The reproductive cycle in the female primates is called menstrual cycle. So the examples of primates are monkey, ape, human, etc. Today I will specifically talk about the human menstrual cycle. In human females, menstruation is repeated at an interval of 28 days. That means once a menstrual cycle starts, it gets repeated after 28 days. That means on the 29th day, next menstrual cycle should start. Let's talk about phases of menstrual cycle. So there are mainly three phases of menstrual cycle. Menstrual phase, follicular or proliferative phase, luteal or secretory phase. Let's talk about them one by one. Menstrual phase. So menstrual phase lasts for first 3 to 5 days of the cycle. That means we can say it starts on day 1 and lasts till day 3, 4 or 5. It varies individual to individual. So events of menstrual phase. So what happens in menstrual phase? Menstrual flow occurs due to breakdown of endometrium of uterus and its blood vessels, which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. Okay, so wall of the vagina is called endometrium. A part of it gets broken down during this time. And the broken endometrial tissues as well as few associated blood vessels come out through vagina in liquid form. Next is follicular phase or proliferative phase. This phase starts just after menstrual phase. So this phase lasts for days 4 to 14. That means we can say it starts on day 3, 4 or 5 depending on the completion of menstrual phase of that girl and lasts till day 14. Let's see what happens in this phase. So events of follicular phase. Hypothalamus secretes a special hormone that is GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. GnRH stimulates pituitary gland to release two hormones, follicle stimulating hormone FSH and luteinizing hormone LH. Okay, so I will explain this graph in a couple of minutes. So under the influence of follicular stimulating hormone FSH, a primary follicle in the ovary grows to become a fully mature Graafian follicle. So in the ovary, egg gets matured in the follicle. And starting from primary follicle, it becomes mature Graafian follicle. Primary follicle grows in size under the influence of FSH and becomes Graafian follicle. Within the Graafian follicle, egg is there. So mature follicle starts secreting estrogens. That means Graafian follicle will start estrogen secretion. A high concentration of estrogen stimulates GnRH release from hypothalamus and GnRH promotes the release of FSH and LH by the pituitary gland. So the same thing will happen just like this. Okay. Both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of cycle, that is about 14th day. So now we will see this graph. So this is the x-axis where you can see 0 days, 14 days, 28 days. A cycle, a menstrual cycle is explained here. So the red curve is about FSH and the black curve is about LH. So you can see here that at this time, that is at 14 days, both of them are at their peak level, right? Okay. So this happens here. Now rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during the mid-cycle, that means during the 14th day, that is called LH surge. So here is the LH surge at day 14 and it induces the rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby the release of ovum. So basically the ovum was there in Graafian follicle. Now the Graafian follicle gets ruptured and the ovum is released, and this event is called ovulation, and this happens due to the increase of LH. Estrogens liberated into the blood stimulate the regeneration of the endometrium through proliferation. So estrogens are liberated from Graafian follicle that we have seen. So they are now liberated into the blood and they stimulate the regeneration of the endometrium. So endometrium was broken down. Now it gets regenerated through proliferation. Proliferation means through cell division. That's why this process is called proliferative phase. This phase is called proliferative phase. Okay. Next is luteal phase. This phase starts just after ovulation. That means this phase lasts from day 15 to last day, that is day 28. Let's see the events of luteal phase. So after ovulation, Graafian follicle gets ruptured and estrogen secretion is decreased. So Graafian follicle was secreting estrogen, right? So once it gets ruptured, estrogen secretion gets decreased. The remaining parts of the Graafian follicle transform as the corpus luteum under the influence of LH. So basically, the ruptured Graafian follicle will not be destroyed. They will be transformed in the next stage, that is corpus luteum stage, under the influence of luteinizing hormone. That's why this hormone is called luteinizing hormone. That means luteum forming hormone. And this luteum, corpus luteum, is formed from Graafian follicle. So the corpus luteum now secretes a large amount of progesterone. Progesterone is essential for maintenance of the endometrium. Such an endometrium is necessary for implantation of the fertilized ovum and other events of pregnancy. So after the ovulation, egg gets released from the ovary and finds its way in fallopian tube. If it meets sperm, it gets fertilized. After the fertilization, zygote is formed. Zygote should be placed in endometrium layer of uterus for its further development. So the endometrium layer should be reformed now, which was broken. And progesterone helps in this reformation. Okay. During pregnancy, all events of the menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. In the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates. This causes disintegration of the endometrium leading to menstruation, making a new cycle. So if there is no fertilization, the corpus luteum degenerates. Once it gets degenerated, release of progesterone will be decreased. This causes breaking down the endometrium layer again, since it has no use now. See, if there is no zygote, the endometrium layer need not be thickened. Hence, it gets shed and the new menstrual cycle starts once again. So this is all about today's lecture. I hope you liked the lecture. Thank you for watching my video.